The Fox 61 News at 6 starts now.
Congressmen and women from around the country are traveling back to Capitol Hill to vote on the funding bill the Senate passed last night. Democrats have been fighting to extend health care subsidies, but 8 Democrats switched their votes last night, bringing the longest shutdown the nation has ever seen closer to an end. The senators promised to come together again next month to vote on the enhanced premium tax credits before they expire by the end of the year. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. The end of the government shutdown is on a lot of people's minds, including food pantries around Connecticut that stepped up big time to fill a big need when those SNAP benefits weren't distributed because of the shutdown. Fox 61's Solene Era spoke to an organizer at one pantry in West Hartford to learn how they're feeling looking ahead.
While an end to the longest government shutdown in U.S. history could be in sight, an organizer at one food pantry tells me the strain on families won't go away as soon as the shutdown ends.
Adds an immense mental health strain to people. So we really try to offer support and give them as much as we can, knowing what they're up against. And we are sure that people are nervous about how they're going to be impacted moving forward.
Katie Hanley is with Jewish Family Services, where their Anya Rosenberg kosher food pantry has served families for decades. They currently serve 300 families, everything from fresh food to diapers to pet food. She says they couldn't pull this off without their volunteers and donations, which they've had an increased need for since the shutdown began. She says they've had more walk-ins and more essential food needs to fill, and they're doing their best to ramp up their donation amounts. But still, no pantry can replace what the federal government can do. According to Connecticut Food Share, for every meal that a food bank provides, SNAP provides 9. Hanley says food pantries need continuous support after the shutdown ends because the financial strain of affording food isn't going away anytime soon.
I just hope that people can remember that this is an ongoing problem that requires sustainable support from the community. It's not just going to go away as soon as the government reopens.
Before this shutdown can end, the bill also needs to be passed by the House of Representatives before it heads to President Trump to sign. Reporting in West Hartford, Solene Air, Fox 61.
Well, airlines have started to bring their flight numbers down. The government flight limits have gone on for a 5th straight day. Bradley International is not one of the airports broadly impacted by canceled departures, but travelers are still feeling the stress.
Fox 61's Victoria Anderson is at Bradley right now talking to those passengers who are hoping things return to normal soon. Victoria, what are you hearing?
That's right, Sarah. I've been here for the past 2 days, and when I was here yesterday, there was a lot more orange and red dots on this board behind me. I'll step out of the way so you guys can see. Today, we've had a lot less cancellations and only a few delays. Those are those orange dots right here. But it's been a better sight, better moods here at the airport. I talked to one woman who said that her husband actually decided to fly out of Bradley instead of Boston Logan because he thought he could beat some of those bigger airport FAA cuts. He arrived safely here and on time, but she said after everything, they're still a little bit nervous to fly.
My family are really reluctant to fly at this point. My sister-in-law was just saying that they had done a trip in September, and she's just was glad that she had done it then and not now.
Today, Bradley told us they only had 20 FAA-related cancellations since Friday, which is 4 more than yesterday. An increase, but definitely a smaller one compared to other larger airports. However, if the shutdown does continue, the FAA is trying to reach that 10% flight cutbacks, which might mean more cancellations trickling down to smaller airports like this. Now, we don't know if your flight will get canceled or delayed, but what you can know is when it will, and you can know as soon as possible. The FAA is suggesting that everybody that's flying during this crazy time get the airport app and the airline app on their phone, just in case there is a delay or cancellation, you know right away. Reporting at Bradley International Airport, Victoria Anderson, Fox 61.
All right, Victoria, thanks. The government shutdown will leave a mark on the economy. The Congressional Budget Office estimates a 6-week shutdown will reduce growth in this year's 4th quarter by about 1.5 percentage points. They say that represents about $11 billion in economic activity permanently lost. It's reported it would cut growth by half from last quarter, but the reopening should boost 1st quarter growth next year by 2.2 percentage points.
Let's turn to weather now. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now at the desk.
Very chilly out there today. And I saw some flurries, but it's the kind of very light flurries where I was where you could. There's one.
You count them.
There's one.
There's
There's
one.
one.
2, 3.
Those are real flurries, right? That's not snow. We know
Right.
that. Yeah, some people who aren't used to snow say, it's snowing. It's not like
Barely qualifies, but
it's flurrying. Yeah.
Snow. Get us in the mood for the
Mood
winter
snow,
season.
okay.
Somebody, you guys might call it moody snow.
Shocking us snow.
bad news snow. Yeah.
Let's take a look. This is what it looked like in Tolland today. Thank you so much, Joey, for sharing this with us. You can see the trees swaying. At times, the sun was out as well. And while for most of us, this was, again, just really light flurries, there was enough to measure in Norfolk, about a ½ an inch of snow. But that was the extreme exception. And that snow has winded down. So we are done with it as we head through the evening tonight. What we're picking up here is just the radar in hypersensitivity mode. But the last flakes were flying in Litchfield County earlier. But it's still blustery and it's still cold. Right now, temperatures are in the 30s. It feels like the 20s, but overnight lows will stay in the 30s tonight, and it won't be as cold tomorrow. We'll explain. Your full forecast is coming up.
Turn around.
Why?
Put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest.
For what? Hard.
We'll explain to you. We'll explain that in a
Can you grab
second.
my phone?
Well, that's the moment the aunt of an 11-year-old girl whose remains were found in New Britain last month was arrested. That new body cam video came into our newsroom more than an hour ago.
And since then, our crews have combed through that video, and it shows the moment New Britain police arrested Carla and Jacqueline Garcia. That's the mother and aunt of Jacqueline Mimi Torres Garcia. So they were taken into custody 4 days after Mimi's remains were found. In the body camera video, you see Carla, the mother, answer the door. Police then ask Carla about her sister and her boyfriend, Jonathan Nanita.
All right, so he's not here at all? We can check, right?
Is Jacqueline here? Your sister's here? Where is she? Okay.
Jonathan, are you in here? Is he in?
Jonathan, come out.
The video also shows officers search behind doors and in closets looking for Nanita. This set off a massive manhunt. Officers found him in Waterbury the next day. All three have since been charged. Police say Mimi was abused and malnourished and died in the fall of 2024. Her body was moved to that abandoned home in New Britain. Carla and Jacqueline Garcia and Nanita are all expected back in court on Friday. Nearly 3 years after his arrest, one of the 5 New Haven police officers charged in the Randy Cox paralysis case has been sentenced.
Officer Ronald Presley received a suspended 60-day prison term and a 6-month conditional discharge after pleading guilty to reckless endangerment. Now, Cox was left paralyzed in 2022 after being thrown inside a police van while handcuffed. The 4 other officers still face pending cases, and the city has since settled with Cox and his family for $45 million. A Wyndham woman is accused of starving a dog to death. Police found the dog dead in a cage on the side of Route 32 in Mansfield on October 23rd. They found a chip in the dog and contacted the owner. Court documents say the dog's original owner gave her to Mariah Reeves last April. Witnesses told investigators they knew Reeves neglected the dog and that Reeves told them the original owner wouldn't take the dog back. The owner told police that's not true and even gave Reeves money to take care of the dog. Necropsy reports shows the dog died from starvation, and when she was found, she had been dead for 10 to 15 days. Reeves was arraigned on animal cruelty, failure to supply food and water, and abandonment charges.
Connecticut officials believe the state of health care in Waterbury is looking up. Today, UConn Health announced they would be purchasing Waterbury Hospital for $13 million and assuming $22 million in debt. This was the last Connecticut hospital owned by Prospect Medical Holdings to find a buyer. And now that they have found a buyer, a shift in how health care is approached in the state could be coming. Fox 61's Jamel Johnson's in Waterbury with those details.
For years under Prospect Medical Holdings, Waterbury Hospital had issues with patient care, safety, and retaining staff. What seemed like a hospital on decline now has a bright future, according to state officials. It's been years since Waterbury Hospital has had a day quite like this. UConn Health President John Driscoll says they're leaving behind the hospital's darkest period.
We have finally reached a point where we are going to invest in people over profits. Goodbye, Prospect. Hello, UConn Health. Hello, the best part of Waterbury.
Governor Ned Lamont and Waterbury Mayor Paul Pernaruski were joined by UConn Health leaders to announce the system's $13 million purchase of Waterbury Hospital. After years of an alleged profits over patients approach by the now bankrupt Prospect Medical Holdings, CEO of UConn Health, Dr. Andrew Aguinobi, says this will change the state of healthcare in the city.
And that's what today is about. It's about restoring trust in this hospital, in its mission, and in the promise that everyone in this community can be assured of access to high quality, affordable, compassionate care close to home.
Under Prospect Medical's leadership, many employees left, leading to high nurse and physician turnover rates, but some stayed, like nurses Sarah Campbell and Marilyn Anthony.
It's been very challenging. Our equipment is failing, morale is failing. It's hard, keeping staff here, especially if they haven't been here for very long. They're jumping ship, and it's scary. I just turned 65. My husband's pushing me to retire. I will not leave at this moment until I see this through and get some nurses trained and ready to roll.
We lost 50% of our staff during COVID, and almost 6 years later, we're still here providing for the Waterbury community and all the patients here. UConn is just number one in our eyes right now, so we're very excited about the thoughts and upcoming changes that we're going to have.
The other two Prospect Medical hospitals were bought by Hartford Healthcare earlier this year, leaving Waterbury as the last remaining without a buyer. Comptroller Sean Scanlon believes UConn's purchase will help win patients and staff back.
Bring your trust back to this hospital. This hospital, it's a new day here. There will be a lot of new investments that are being made here to this hospital. It's going to look quite different in the next few years as we finally make the investments that we should have been making for a long time here.
The sale still needs approval from the state, and lawmakers are expected to vote on the sale this Friday during the special session, among other budget topics. In Waterbury, Jamel Johnson, Fox 61.